Hello and welcome to another exciting epic Momo gaming match. We are going to have a match between MatosMachine and Googler today. We're just doing some setup and we're just about to start. I am here. I am DreamFox, and with me on commentary I also have.
It's me. I'm Dorothy.
And yeah, we're going to take you through this lovely epic Momo gaming match today. It's going to be a best of 3 match here on the any percent legacy route on the normal difficulty of the game.
Yeah. So
And-
we have Googler and MatosMachine today. Googler being probably one of the best players of this game. So it'll be interesting to watch, I think.
Yeah, Matos is also a good player, but like
Yes.
Googler is the top seed of this tournament, and for
Yeah.
good reason. So that means we have an exciting match ahead of us. Like, seed doesn't tell everything about
That is true.
matches.
That is true. There could be the upset.
Yeah, because there are several boss fights in this game where if you make a mistake, it will cost you a lot of time. So if one player plays a bit risky and makes a mistake, and the other player plays safer and goes a little bit slower than the risky strats, but still makes it through, then that may overall be what it takes to win.
Alrighty.
And our runners are just about setting up. All right,
There we
and
go.
here our runners have begun. We start out the game in this lovely area called the Grove. It's a very nice area with some really calm music. Uh, a great area.
Yeah.
And at the start of the game, you have a roll. It's faster than moving normally. You have a jump and a double jump. And we can also combine those two moves. It's not intentional, but if you roll and jump at the same time on the same frame, then you will combine them into a roll jump, which is fast and you know, it has the speed of a roll, but the height and the verticality of a jump. So it's a very useful tool to have.
Yep. And you'll see Googler also canceling his roll jumps to stop going in the air a little bit earlier so that he can start rolling on the ground again.
Yeah, and in this first area of the game, there are 2 goals that the runners have. The first one is to just move through it, you know, to move through the level. It's also to gather 20 money, and you will see them get 3 chests. They have already grabbed 1 chest in order to reach 80 money by the end of this area, which will be used to buy an item to speed up a couple of boss fights. The offensive tools that you start out with in this game is a bow and arrow, as a ranged attack or ranged weapon, and then you have a leaf as a melee weapon. That's a 3-hit combo. And you can also charge up your arrows to allow them to do more damage. And you can do that while doing melee combos, which makes it a very... well, that is what some people call, you know, remember your ABCs, always be charging. And that is a very useful thing to have. And
absolutely.
Coming up is the Googler is approaching the first boss of the run, Idea. Idea has a weak spot on her pearl, and if you charge up your arrows fully and bait out a specific attack, there is a small frame window where that attack will instantly kill Idea. Let's see. Idea dances with Googler. Not what you
There
want to
we
see,
go.
but here you go. Just instantly defeats the boss. That is not intended, but
No.
it's very handy. We don't know exactly how it works. We just know that it works. Matos gets
Looks
it
like
as
my
well. Yeah, very nice. Used a pause buffer strat in order to line it up easier.
Yep.
And
Makes
it's
it a little
time.
more consistent.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna be buying the first item that we got all the money for back in the Grove. It's going to be I think it's a double use item that will temporarily buff our attack.
Yeah. And so that is one type of item, the active items. If you might have seen that they picked up something from the ground after defeating a Dia, and that is if you defeat a boss without taking damage, you get a special boss item. And from the first boss, you get her pearl, which adds a poison effect to your arrows as a passive effect. You can have 3 active items and the 2 passive items equipped at any time. And you will see here, Googler just equipped them. Any active items have a set number of charges, but anytime you save, those charges, get recharged, so you can use it again, which is a very nice system that encourages you to use items and not just hoard them until the last boss, or more specifically, until you have won the game. Matos accidentally steps into his own poison cloud after using Adia's Pearl, which means that he won't be getting this item. It seems like he keeps going. He does not decide to reset to try and get this item. This item is a very important item.
Yeah, it is used close to the end for an unintended sequence break, and so without it, you lose not just the time of course, the damage that you can get from it from bosses, but also the time of having to go through that intended route instead of being able to sequence break.
Oh, but you are slightly mistaken here, because there is one more, or
that is true.
At least 2 other ways to open it up.
That is true.
Non-intended ways, and because I know what Matos likes to run, I know that he knows of it, so that will be a treat for later.
That is true. I completely forgot. It's been a minute.
Completely unrelated news. There is also a secret item in this game, where if you input up, up, down, down, left, right, then you will spawn a fairy that will shoot blue lasers over the screen. And you can use this once per save, and it's just a little thing that helps out with some damage during bosses.
It's especially on bosses with large hitboxes like Lubella had, so a lot of free damage.
Yeah, where the lasers hit is random, so you can't control it, but if you are lucky or you face a large boss, then you can get some reliable extra damage in. So this area is the Subterranean Grave. This area features some underwater physics, and if you're swimming in the water, you are slow, you're moving a lot slower, and you kind of float, you can jump infinitely, but if you are on the ground, you can still roll, and rolling in the water is as fast as rolling while, above ground. So that is the main way to go fast here, is just make sure to stay on the ground as much as possible to get as many rolls in as you can. And there are also a lot of spikes in this area specifically.
Yes, especially underwater.
Yeah, these spikes are not friendly spikes. They are very rude, and they will instantly kill you if you touch them. So yeah, please don't do that. Matos grabbed the safety save. I don't think Googler did.
No. Googler's only been going for necessary saves so far, which is bold.
Yeah, and here Googler will now use the Bachman patch that he got from Lubella. After a short channel, you spawn all those blocks that fall from the sky. Each block does a little bit of damage, but there are a lot of them, and it adds up. For that did the attack you do not want to see. Frida decided to teleport, and again?
Nice. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. It's not a dangerous attack, it's really easy to handle, but the main thing to do in a speedrun is to output as much damage as possible so that the boss dies early.
Very
and you can't
unlucky.
really do that when the boss is teleported away. But yeah, Googler is very unlucky there. Free teleports from Frida. There is another boss that dives instead, and Lubella can dive. So that is what most people are used to complaining about when it comes to bosses.
Looks like both of them also going for melee strats. So instead of that, there is the option to just sit in the corner and spam arrows, which is, albeit a good bit slower, but much safer if you're not comfortable with Frida's attacks.
Yeah, Matos had at least one teleport. Not sure if there were two. Ended the fight very close to the edge there. It looked to be a very uncomfortable position where it was very cramped. Frida was right next to him, and yeah. Well, a little bit of more underwater platforming. They did a detour in that area in order to grab a key to get to this area. And the detour that you make in that area is the one that leads past most of the spikes. So
right.
It's a great little detour. So yeah, Googler is ahead, and Matos is not far behind.
No, I think.
And that is considering Matos does not have the Batman patch.
Yeah.
Googler gets a dive. There we have it. Lubella dives. This is even worse than teleporting. It takes, I think, 12 seconds for her to return here.
I think so, yeah. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, and then there is the other item that we got from Frida, the Sparse Thread, which creates a magical explosion. Just a nice, chunky nuke item to use. And gets down Lubella 2 really smoothly. This is this and the final boss are the only bosses you don't need to do without taking damage, because the drop here does not help with dealing damage. So
right.
Matos is in a dangerous spot here. Has been hit.
Very greedy.
Misses the second Sparse. If that had hit, Lubella would have died here, which is very unfortunate. But Googler has now entered the best part of the game. After you defeat Lubella for a second time, you get turned into a cat. As a cat, you are smaller, you are faster, you jump higher, but most importantly, you are cuter. But as a cat, you can't use items, you can't climb ladders, and you can't shoot your bow. But after that area, you pick up the cat sphere, which allows you to transform between human and cat form at will. Which is very handy, considering being stuck as a cat and not being able to climb ladders would not be a very nice thing.
No, that would be very inconvenient.
Yeah, also, as a cat, there is some quirk with the roll that makes it have end lag to it, sort of, where you slow down at the end of the roll. So you want to do roll jumps and cancel the roll with a melee attack in order to not have the slowdown at the end of the roll, in order to move fast here.
Yeah, that way you can chain a bunch in a row.
Yes, and that's why the movement as a cat will look very different to movement as human. And here, Googler will just enter the next room and then immediately turn around. That thing. That is in order to see the bell that is on that screen or have visited that screen, which will allow him to teleport back to it. Because in the goal they have in this game right now is to gather the 4 karst crest fragments in order to get access to the castle. Each fragment also gives a power-up to Kaho, the main character. So they actually picked up one after defeating Frida, and that one speeds up the charge rate of your bow, so it takes a shorter time to reach full charge when, charging up your arrows. And the next fragment they are going to pick up will allow them to warp between save bells. You can warp from any bell, but there are only a few bells that you can warp to. And the one that they took a detour just to unlock is a very useful bell to warp to. We warped to it like 4 times in total in the run. So
yes.
yeah, and unlocking it early here saves a lot of backtracking, which is just very convenient. Yeah, Matos still not far behind.
No, keeping up really well, especially considering the lower damage output.
Yeah.
Oh.
uses the wrong item on that night mini boss. Probably because because he did only have 2 active items equipped instead of 3.
Right.
He probably scrolled past it just through muscle memory, which is kind of amusing.
Yeah.
And you will now have to come up with some alternate menuing here on the fly.
It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, now Googler has the warp fragment, so we'll warp here. And this was the screen that they just visited very briefly. And now going down to fight the heretical arsonist.
Yes, and she also drops an item that is really good for damage output.
Yeah, the Cinder Chambers, that is what this area is called. It's not too tricky, the platforming here. Like, you're going down, and the falling is not as tricky as climbing. So, the trip down here is really fast, and because... Oh, does not save before Arsonist.
That's very bold.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah, if some Arsonist, things can happen in this fight. Arsonist has a lot of health. I think she is the boss with the most health in this game. And yeah, because of that, she takes quite a while to fight, which makes the likelihood of mistakes, a lot higher. We're opting for a bit of a safer strat, shooting more arrows, or maybe... Or not really, actually. It's just Arsonist didn't want to teleport, so it ended up looking a little bit safe. But yeah, good.
Because you do want to end that fight close to the exit and with the boss close to you, so that you can just pick up the item and go. But no, that was a very good fight, especially considering what was at stake.
Yeah, and Googler exits the Arsonist fight as Matos enters it. That is... This is a tight race. So now the crest fragment there allows you to dash in there. This is one of my probably my favorite crest ability, because it just makes the movement flow really nicely.
Oh, yeah.
And the item that you get from Arsonist adds a flame effect to your attacks, which just adds more damage to your attacks. It works on your melee attacks, your bow, and it also works on the Bachmann patch, which ends up like tripling the damage from the Bachmann patch. And
something
you will you will see that in like 30 seconds on Googler's screen or something, when Googler fights Fennel, because Fennel is one of the best fights in the game when you're playing it for the first time. It has really good music, it's a nice exciting boss fight. But of course, since we're speedrunners, we find setups and strategies to just kill her as fast as possible. So yeah, I just almost rolled into spikes there. Does not save there either. Okay. Yeah, Googler is going harder. But see, that's phase 1 of Fennel, and Fennel is dead. The damage output that you get from using like proper item setups and so is really big.
Yeah, but since Matos doesn't have Bachmann patch, we might actually get to see a bit more of the fight.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be too much of an issue. It is actually going to be a bit different, because Matos likes to run the low percent category where you don't use items, so you have to learn how to fight Fennel. But the Pocket Incensory from Arsonist that adds a flame effect to your attacks will change how many hits it takes to stagger the boss.
Yeah.
So it's not a pure low percent fight here. Might mess up some muscle memory.
Let's see.
Oh, that's a
not bad
good
at all.
set. It's a really good setup.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Gets hit right at the end. That was a really good like backup fight for that. And Googler is making his way through Royal Pinacoteca. This is, well, the penultimate area of the game. Here it has some really nice platforming, lots of up and down, vertical climbing. You need to swap in and out of cat form.
There we go.
Some issues with our roll jump failing. Not taking the safety save here either. The next boss fight can be a bit temperamental and decides to do things you don't want it to do.
I would argue that at least what I would do is, even if I do get hit by the boss, keep going, because the item we get from Lupiar and Magnolia is heavy arrows, which increases the damage from your arrows, and that makes the last boss fight much, much faster. But Googler gets it fine anyway. We don't even gotta worry about it.
Yeah. And that menuing sequence there is it's a very satisfying menuing sequence to get. It's one of the longer ones in this game. Like, we don't have long menu sequences, but menuing in this game is really important, because if you don't, like, if you make a mistake, it can cost you several seconds trying to, to fix your mistake, because first you have to think, wait, what did I do wrong? Where do I actually want things, instead of just relying on muscle memory to
It
equip things in the
especially
correct spot.
hurts because items fill into your inventory in the order that you put them back in, so they're not in set slots. So if you mess up menuing once, that messes up the menuing for the entire rest of what you have to do.
Matos is soon at Lupiar and Magnolia as well. This fight will be a lot more difficult for Matos, because it's two bosses. First Lupiar, the armored knight, and then Magnolia, the archer. You can't use arrows to hurt Lupiar. Okay, there we go. Matos hits that switch. So in this first phase, trying to use melee attacks in order to fight Lupiar is very difficult. But yeah, Matos is used to doing this fight.
As soon as the cat transformation happened, I knew what was going on.
Yeah, this is how you fight this boss on a low percent. Or generally, you don't have as much damage output. That was a good first phase. The second phase is a lot easier. Just playing it a bit safe. And there we go. Very nice by Matos. Googler, while we were focused on Matos, Googler went and used the sealed wind that they both picked up inside the Royal Pinacoteca in order to upgrade the leaf by bathing it in hibiscus tea and, increasing its power. This is required for the true ending of the game, or, well, the true ending, the good ending, the not bad ending, and it's the only ending in this game that has credits attached to it, so that is what we require in the speedrun. No, Googler has too little health there, so does not opt to do the yeet strat, where you can damage boost off an enemy. Here we go. And yeah, Googler is only 3 rooms away from the final boss here. There's an elevator ride, 1 room with enemies, save point, and then it's the final boss. The final boss has, when performed correctly, and then it has no randomness to it, because this is a 3-phased boss. Each phase always starts out with the same attack, and then after that is random. But if you do the correct strats, then your damage output will always kill the boss, before the second attack comes out. Except for the 3rd phase, but in the 3rd phase, the attacks always come in a set order anyway. So that is very nice. I really like that design choice. because that, or I'm not sure if that was so much as a deliberate design choice, but I just like that about this speedrun, because you have a long run, you come to the final boss, but then you don't have to worry about any randomness. You just have to worry about your execution to finish out the run. And
Yeah.
there we go. Googler finishing with a 22:19, which is a really good time. It's better than my personal best, and I recently got a better PB. And yeah, I will be facing the winner of this match, so currently it's not looking great for me. Like, yeah, 22:19 is a fantastic time. 22:45, like the pace Matos is on right now is a really good pace as well. Uh, Especially considering no Bachman patch and having to redo a few boss fights, come up with some boss strats on the fly. So yeah, Matos is on a really good pace here.
Yeah, I mean, heck, I know for sure that I would not be doing this well if I was missing one of my main damage sources the entire run. So goes to show how familiarity with low percent is helping him out.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't get to see how, or we forgot to look at how Matos opened up the shortcut we talked about. But you can also use the hidden fairy item in order to hit that switch as well. It's a little bit more finicky, but it works and it is used in low percent, so Matos is used to that.
Right.
And I assume that is what he did.
I somehow completely forgot about that strat.
Yeah, not a lot of people know about it because not a lot of people run low percent. Low percent is really fun though.
It
It
is.
is, yeah, it is difficult, especially when playing on the higher difficulties, because on higher difficulties you have less health and more enemies. So yeah, not being able to
That's unfortunate.
yeah. Models should have all the items now, right, that you need for this fight, because you don't use Bachman patch anymore.
No.
Yeah.
I still use it for a backup strat, but that backup strat's probably slow, so
Mm.
there we
Yeah,
go.
Matos had a small mistake there and uses a bit of a backup strat there.
It
And
should still go fine though.
yeah. Yeah, especially because in low percent your damage output is a lot lower, so yeah, doing this fight here uh takes a lot longer. You go through
Right.
like more than one cycle of attacks there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no issue there for Matos. 24:55, really good time
Still very
without
good.
the Bachman pattern having to do backup strats. But this is a best of 3, which means that we are not done yet. If Googler wins the next race, then Googler will be the one who advances in the tournament, and Matos will be sent to the bracket of alternate success because this is a double elimination tournament. But yeah, but if Matos wins the next one, then we will have a third match as well. And we're just going to set up the next race, and they will begin when ready.
Yep. Yep. Well, it was a good showing from both of them in that first race. So
Yeah, Glue just
and
showed Glue. There is no Glue running here. Googler showed a really clean run. Uh, and Matos showed some really impressive backup strats and knowledge there. The Googler. Mm. But yeah, okay, there is a small break here. Uh, so I am going to go and get some water, and I will be right back.
no problem. Well, yeah. I'm bad at filling dead air. I'm still very much anyone's game. Matos can, showed that they're more than capable of pulling off things whenever things don't go their way. So, I think we could very definitely see a comeback and get maybe even to a game 3. Something I think I might be mistaken, but I think the two are also running on different versions of the game. So I think Matos is running on the latest patch, which buffs the last charge of your arrows. And Googler might have just really well timed the forced transformations, and I did not notice. I would be surprised if they were running on different versions, since the latest patch is the fastest.
I do believe they are running on different patches indeed.
Okay. Yeah, because when Googler went to get the leaf upgrade, there was no forced transformation, so
Yeah, I peeked into a practice stream of Googler's recently, and it looked to be the older patch. And Googler did not use the modern Queen strat with the level 4 shard. So yeah, that was one thing we forgot to mention. After defeating Fennel, you get the 4th and final crest fragment. And that adds another level of charge to your arrows. Or like when you're charged up your ranged attack, you can get an even higher charge. And that was buffed in the most recent patch. So there are several new strategies that came up with that patch that makes use of that, level 4 charge. I think we call it, or max level charge.
Yeah, our level 3 is usually. Well,
Level
I
3.
don't know.
Yeah. I don't remember. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 probably. 0 is no charge. 1 is half charge. 2 is full charge, and 3 is max charge. Yeah, no, we don't have a really good good way of naming them.
The one with a lot of arrows.
Yeah, it shoots like 3 or 4. I think
I
it
think it's a
shoots
volley of 4 or
4,
3.
3, 4, 5. I don't know. It's a volley of arrows, and it does a lot of damage. And here we are in the second race. We're back in the grove with the calm, lovely music. Oh, I love it here. No, seriously, this place is.
You and I have very different opinions of the grove.
Yeah, I mean, this is a place in particular that has a lot of randomness to it. The imps in here, like how far they throw bombs is random. When they decide to throw knives is random. Like
They move.
Yeah,
how high
fast
they jump.
move, how high they jump. Yeah, like the only thing that isn't random is when the ones that throw poison bombs, like when they throw them, because that's on a set cycle.
Yeah.
But other than that, they are very much random. And if you play on the insane difficulty for the game, you start with 1 health. So any damage will kill you, and you have more imps than this.
Oh yeah.
Which turns the grove into a reset piece. This is where 90% of your runs die. But yeah, I love it. The music is calm. It's just such a cozy place, even though you have so many murderous imps. So yeah, I just like this area a lot.
The soundtrack haunts my nightmares.
Yeah, Googler is enough with that, because Googler is a few screens ahead of Matos. Both have gathered the chests. Googler had a little bit of issues with the imps, but nothing major. Gets enough money, gets the 80 money required, and heads on to Edea. Let's see if Edea wants to dance again. Because when you are at the distance, like away from the boss that they position themselves in, Edea can do 2 things: move or attack. I mean, I guess that's very reductionist, but like either move forwards or backwards or use this lunge attack.
Oh,
But yeah,
go faster.
Googler just confident and just ends Idea right there. Matos enters Idea, the Idea boss fight.
A little bit of dancing.
Yeah, a little bit of dancing. No
Oh.
quick kill. It's hard to position yourself there because when you get that far left, the camera stops scrolling because that's the edge of the room. So at least I base my setup based on like how much of a Dia's head I can see. And when the camera stops scrolling, I can't do that anymore. I'm not sure if Matos does a similar thing.
Oh, that's super unfortunate.
He might still get it though. Maybe. There is a chance that they die.
Before the.
No. Yeah, no. Sometimes there is the chance that you kill the boss at the same frame you get hit, and that counts as you beating the boss without getting hit. Googler is fighting Mocha. Mocha behaves like an imp in many ways. Likes to jump around, just switch. Yeah, he's a little bully. Well, a big bully.
A big, small bully.
Here we have the fight against Libella 1. Let's hope for no dives for Googler. Or, yeah, let's hope for no dives. We're gonna bless these runners here. No commentators cursing today, I swear.
I didn't even know Libella could dive. I don't know what you're talking about.
I feel like we're going to curse Matos this time just because it goes so well for Googler. I mean, it's always fun to see more Momo. So it's always fun to try and curse the runner that's ahead. Sometimes you just miss and hit the other runner.
That's true.
Matos here is going to do a little bit less damage because it did not get Dia's Pearl, which will be unfortunate because that means Libella might see the water and go for a swim, and we don't want that. Gets hit.
It is very unfortunate.
Yeah. But finishes off the fight. Matos might go for a low percent run at this point. Okay, low percent run with Crystal Seed. As Googler enters the subterranean grave. This area also has some randomness. Some screens have bats on them. They are very reminiscent of, Medusa heads from Castlevania?
Yes.
They spawn from... But luckily, they only spawn when you are close to the edge of the screen. And they spawn on the opposite edge, but at a random height. So sometimes they are in your way, sometimes you don't even see them, and sometimes they just ruin your day completely. They can be annoying, sometimes they're nice. But it is nice that two of the more annoying pieces of randomness gets out of the way really quickly in this route. That is different in other categories where you don't go here this early. But in the categories where you don't go here this early, you also get the air dash before getting here, which makes the movement
circumvents it a little.
Yeah. Google just making his way through the subterranean graves real smoothly. Slapping a bat for good measure. Yeah, but no issues here. Just clean movement through this area. Shooting the enemy that spawns there so that it doesn't enter the boss fight. If you either if you don't kill that enemy if it spawns, then you are going to have a bad boss fight.
It's going to be much harder.
Yeah. Oh, you're just getting the annoying attack where Frida spawns dogs, but yeah, handles it.
No problem.
Yeah. Real clean there. Gets 2 lasers and Frida is saying goodnight. gets the spar spread and picks up the first crest fragment. Gives him that faster arrow charge. Matos is going to enter the Frida fight in a little bit here. And Matos tried to bait the bomb thrower in that room to open up the door or like the breakable wall early there. It's a it does not happen often. Like it requires the Bachmann on that screen to throw the bomb as far as possible.
Yeah.
Which is not very likely.
No. I don't remember if that ended up being the case, but people were saying that it might be that you'd have to do that room intentionally slow for that to happen as well.
Yes, if you do it like the fast way, then the bomb thrower will either throw it to the left or not throw it at all. So you have to go a bit slower in order to have a chance of that happening. But yeah, Googler is entering the second Lubella boss fight here. Matos gets the spar spread and gets the crest fragment. And we'll see on the way back if that wall opened or not. No dives.
Taking care of Lubella.
Yeah, no. Lubella did not see the water this time. The wall is not broken. Unfortunate. That would definitely have helped Matos catch up a little bit. But yeah, Googler is just playing really cleanly here. With Googler playing like this, there might not be anyone in the tournament who can beat him.
Yeah.
Like the first run he did today was better than anyone, like everyone's PB in the tournament. So
Yeah.
that is why Googler is the #1 seed for this tournament. Like it shows. Very clean movement, very clean gameplay.
Uncontested champion of pressing R1.
Does Googler play on a controller?
Yep.
Oh, Matos had a golden Bachmann there. That's cool. Yeah, there's a chance that the Bachmann enemy can spawn golden in certain rooms at least. I feel like that's the only one I've seen be golden.
I think there's one in the Cinder Chambers that can also be gold, I think. It's just that we never see it.
Yeah. But yeah, the golden Bachmann throws 20 bombs instead of 1 and drops a bunch of money when dying. And oh my god, Libella finally saw the water, but it was in Matos' game, which is very unfortunate. In addition to the golden Bachmann, there is one screen in every area that can have a cursed fly spawn, and if you kill that one, you get a lot of money. I actually had that one spawn in my PB, I think, in the Cinder Chambers, which is really cool. That's the place where I've seen it. Like, I think that might have been the only time. No, at least.
Oh, the least for you? Really?
Yeah, I think that might be the only time I've seen it in Cinder Chambers for me.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen it more in Whiteleaf Memorial Park and in Karst City when going past like the Greenleaf place.
Really? I've only seen it in the Grove, in I think Avid, and then I see it a lot in Cinder Chambers.
Yeah, okay, interesting. Googler is just doing the backtracking here. It's clean. It's cat. You play as a cat. I mean, that's one of the best part about this game. You can be a cat. What more do you want from a game, you know?
Not only can you be a cat, but it's the preferred way to play.
Yeah.
It's the efficient way to do things.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally a power-up you unlock. You start out as a normal human, and then you become a cat. Like, is there a better upgrade progression path in a video game? I'm not really sure. I don't think so. It's like hard to compete with that. When will the Momo merch shop start selling cat spheres? Oh, that would be a joyous dream. Joyous day. Yeah, Googler has a sizable lead here. Having lost out on items, it does not help Matos. Having Lubella be interested in water and cleanliness did not help Matos. Having Googler just play super, like, really smoothly is not helping Matos here.
Yeah, it's the most unfortunate thing, I think.
Yeah, like, Matos is not playing poorly here. Matos is playing
No.
really well.
Yeah, let's be clear about that. Matos is doing very well.
It's just that Googler, Googler is Googler. That is, we can leave it at that. Oh, takes the save before Arsonist this time. I think he might have missed it the previous run. Because, like, it's not hard to pick it up. And it doesn't lose that much time, so... And it's a very nice safety to have when approaching Arsonist.
Especially because of the damage output you get from a perfect fight.
Yeah, this is what Googler wanted to happen last time. The teleport. Now the fight is very cramped. And gets a clean fight there. Very nicely. So yeah, here we have Cap trying to flirt a little bit with us, but we say no and go away because while we would love to flirt with Cap, we don't have time because this is a speed run. So we just pick up the pocket and sensory, grab the crest fragment, and leave. There is actually an Easter egg if you talk, or like if you say yes to her and you talk to her like
I think it's
4 or 5,
times.
3 times. Okay, 3 times, then you get a little Easter egg. So yeah, it's definitely worth picking up this game for, and just for that Easter egg.
It is. That's true.
But yeah, like this game is it is a short game, between 2 and 4 hours for a first playthrough, and yeah, a nice comfy game. Can highly recommend it if it looks like, if the art style looks interesting and like a 2D action platformer is like, oh, that sounds nice, then I highly recommend this. It is a very cozy game. Oh yeah. Oh no, we have already missed the cat RNG.
Oh, we
not
did.
keeping track. Yeah. I had like 6 white cats and 1 black cat on
I think
one
my
of my
PB
rounds.
had all white cats.
Ooh. But yeah, so there is a room where there are 6 cats. They can be in 3 different colors, and they are like various positions. But just, you know, looking at the cat colors is fun cat RNG.
It's very important. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's
Vital to the
really
run.
important to get good cat RNG. Otherwise, your run is cursed and you can't get good times. Ooh.
Very close.
Yeah, Half was being very helpful there and staggering Arsonist right into Matos, which is a thing that can happen, and you need to, you know, be mindful of that and keep your eye out.
Cat is only ever very helpful and has never once ruined a run for me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Googler messes up the movement there a little bit because there is a cooldown to the air dash. So if you use it when you do not want to, it will end up on cooldown, and you know, you can't take your normal lines, so to speak. And that, I think that messed him up there a little bit, but made a good recovery and goes on to go through Katekek. Let's see. I see 5 white cats. And 2 black.
And then 2 black.
4 white, 2 black, right. I counted Kaho as one of the white cats.
Oh.
I don't know. But yeah, that was some good. Googler dies on the way to the sealed wind. But he did take the save, so not a lot of time lost there. There have been races where the runners have skipped as many saves as possible because they have been so close. And then deaths have been very costly. But Googler had a relatively not time-consuming death.
Oh.
Oh, I think it's...
There we go.
Yeah. That is what happens when you mess up the roll jump inputs. When you do a jump into a roll instead of a roll and a jump at the same time. That means that you first jump.
Oh no.
Google rolls into spikes. See, and that is how friendly the spikes are in this game. You go into them and then you die. And Matos just bullies Fennel there. Really good Fennel fight. Gets the final crest fragment and moves towards Pinacoteca, which means that Googler's lead has shrunk considerably now. Does not roll into spikes this time. Does not fall into spikes either. Is Googler going to take the safety save this race, or?
That's a very good question.
No.
Well, I guess not.
Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't really die here.
Yeah,
like, especially with this health. Like, you can take a hit or so from Loopiar without dying, and then you can just play the boss fight a bit slower and safely, and still continue on. But yeah. Unlucky Loopiar, but has handed. Oh, okay. Almost. So you can see the reset muscle memory there. Googler, as far as I know, is not familiar with low percent.
No, as far as I know, he's done New Game Plus and any percent.
Maybe normal, I think, as well.
Oh yeah.
I think so. That's. Okay, almost quits up again. Gets poisoned, but health is enough to make it to the next. Went for the normal menu, realized wait, don't have heavy arrows, yeah.
Like, wait a minute, there's supposed to be an item there.
Okay, skips the post boss save there. Okay, Matos grabbed the sealed wind now, so if Googler dies here on the way to the next save, that means that Matos is ahead.
Yes.
So this is a bit of a risky play here from Googler.
Maybe he thinks that Matos has pulled ahead because of his deaths.
That might be the case, but he makes it way for the... And here we can see the shortcut. You use the Bachman patch, and off screen there is a switch that you hit with it. Matos will have to use the fairy there again. So if we remember that, or... then we can see it again. I think that is why this has happened. Like, Matos knew that we didn't showcase it, so...
That's true.
He's giving us a second chance. Yeah, just showing off how to fight Loopiar here without any items. You just have to keep track of when you can stagger Loopiar, know when there are windows to attack. And yeah, Matos knows the spacing, the timings, knows everything. And now it's just Magnolia left. One little detail about not taking damage during boss fights is that if you use the painted missive, which we have neglected to mention or forgot to mention, is that you take damage and then you get a damage buff that is more powerful than the crystal seed that you buy at the start of the game. And that damage you take would disqualify you from getting a boss item. But with Loopiar and Magnolia, if you use it after Loopiar has died, but before Magnolia has spawned, then it doesn't count as taking damage during a boss fight.
Yeah, it only disqualifies while the health bar is on the screen.
Yes. Oh yeah, and Googler here is going to fight the Clone Angel. It spawns, clones of itself, that's why we call it the Clone Angel. The real one hovers slightly closer to the ground. It's not intended, but it's very helpful for speedruns. It's hard to tell at that distance, but that one was slightly closer to the ground. And now Googler is going for the Yeet stat here, where you knock the enemy back and then damage boost off of it to circumvent having to go around in that room.
Yeah.
A really nice little trick found.
At first, I think we thought you had to rely on one attack until we realized we can just bop it over a little. At least I think when we first found that we could damage boost to gain a little bit of height there.
Oh, we missed the shortcut opening from Matos this time as well.
Oh no.
And that happens. Yeah, Googler's entering the final fight here. And like this pace here, 2240 queen entry is a really good time. It's still.
Yeah, even with those deaths, this is a really good time.
Oh yeah, no heavy arrows, so this means backup strats are needed. Which means we'll get some more randomness from the queen.
Couldn't be too bad.
Yeah, this part here is what drains time. If you do not have the damage output, because you can do some risky jumps and jumping attacks in order to hit the queen while she does that. But Googler decides to play it safe and enters the final queen phase here. If you don't get the sealed wind and upgrade your leaf to the green leaf, then you won't reach this third phase. You will just defeat the second phase, the boss fight will be over, you will fail to fully cleanse the corruption, and you will just get a bad ending.
Yeah.
And there we have it, GG 2355, a solid second run from Googler, which means that he is the winner of this match, and I will be facing Googler later.
I look forward to that game.
I am not. I mean, to be fair, if Googler plays like this, like in this second round, then I have a shot. I can't beat this run. I can't beat the first run. I could beat this run. So it's not impossible. It's just improbable.
Mata's coming up on the queen here.
Yeah, he has all the items, so he's going to do the 1.07 strats here.
Much faster. There we go.
Yeah, very clean first and second phase. And then for the third phase, there are going to be 2 level 3 arrow attacks, or like max level charge, the new charge from after defeating Fennel, and just some melee hits in between. And there we go. 25-12, a solid time.
Oh, a very good time.
Yeah, so let's try and get our runners in here for a post-race interview, because they played really well, and I want to hear what they have what their thoughts about this race are. Yeah, so they should be in here shortly, I believe. Yeah, this has been these were 2 very solid matches. This is
for sure.
This is some good epic Momo gaming. And here we have at least one of our runners, Matos and Googler are also here. Both our runners are here now. Welcome and GG.
Thank you. Hey.
Very good runs from both of you.
I don't know if I'd say that. I was
Well-
dying inside on the second one. And then when I saw Googler's time, I was like, oh, I could have actually done it if I was playing not like that.
I mean, still, given the circumstances, you performed really, really well.
Yeah,
Thanks.
so like the first race, Googler, you just set an amazing time or had an amazing run in the first race. And Montes, you had some issues or like unfortunate stuff happening in the first race, but your backup strats were really clean and a treat to watch.
Thanks. I missed Bachman patch on both of those, so I was really annoyed. But yeah, the first one, I felt like the bosses hated me too, because I got every dive and a teleport on Frida too, so it was like, ugh,
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Google, you were unlucky with Frida in the first race.
Yeah, the first one was weird. I literally was just like playing. I started playing passive like halfway through it there, as you
and
could see.
you got a triple teleport from Frida. That was very unfortunate.
Yeah, it got to a point where I just stopped trying to predict where she would be next. Like I just gave up on guessing that because it was just happening so much. I just like didn't even want to take a risk.
That's true.
Because I usually try to like preempt an attack before she comes around, but at that point it was just happening back to back, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, when we saw that you missed the Bachman patch, Matos, we were like, oh, yeah, you usually want that to open up the shortcut. But then, like, we know that you run low percent, so you know how to open up the shortcut using the fairy. But we forgot to take a look at that in both of the runs, sadly, or point it out because we were so... Well, Googler distracted us at both those times.
You ran no Bachman on both rounds?
Both, yeah.
I took a dumb hit on both of them, so I was a little annoyed. I also messed up a Dia on the second race, so I was like already a little off, and I was just trying to recover.
Yeah, the later boss fights were really clean. Your loop jar fights were great to watch, and the Fennel fights as well.
Yeah.
Just showing getting that low percent experience in there, but also having to do some backup strats on the fly because you don't have a pocket and sensor in low percent. So the staggers are a bit different.
Yeah, the staggers were the biggest issue, especially for the loop yard. Like I know exactly how to do it in low percent, but with the staggers being different, I can't be quite as aggressive. So those were actually like pretty passive. Like I just was making sure not to get hit because I want that item.
Yeah, it's fun that you say pretty passive because that looked very aggressive to me. it's just passive for you means apparently means very aggressive for most other people.
Optimized passive.
Yeah. Optimized passive, yes. But
yeah, I wasn't sure what it was because I didn't have the stream open while I was doing runs, so I didn't know Matos was running no Bach on both rounds. That's tough, honestly.
Yeah, it's a big chunk of damage that you just don't have access to.
Yeah, and then you had some issues in the second race, Googler, when you got to
Hinagiteka.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first hit I took on the collapsing bridge, like everything was gone.
Yeah,
my movement was doing good on the second round. Like it was getting really consistent. But as soon as I took that hit on the skeleton, like it like completely threw me. It just completely threw off my balance. It's like a human. Because everything else after that was clumsy.
Yeah, it looked like you got to that point and you didn't have the dash ready that you wanted, and then just everything.
Yeah, I fumbled it.
Yeah. And then you had 2 unfortunate deaths, right?
Yeah. First one.
I think it was from the skeleton swipe in the sealed window room, or?
I got hit by the wall Bachmans.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think I had a shot. Like I actually could have gone through there safely. I did it quick enough, but I like immediately was like trying to back out. I was like, this is not fast enough. And by that point I was already falling. So it just basically equated to just me just standing there and taking the hit. And I was just sitting there like giggling a little bit. I was like, oh my God. Like, what am I doing? I'm just so jittery now. And then the spikes roll. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was actually nice because otherwise we wouldn't have to talk more about the very rude spikes that always kill you. We, of course, mentioned them in the subterranean graves, but no one got hit by spikes otherwise, so it is...
I was worried about the non-one specifically, but fortunately.
Oh, yeah, and you, Googler, are advancing in the tournament. You're going to face me next.
Mhm.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna need to learn AA too.
Are we doing that as a third one? If
Wait, what?
wait, what? Why learn AA? What?
Well, didn't we say that when the tournament was starting?
I
I mean, if you want to do something else, that's fine.
I
But
No, just send
that
Googler
was
down
what
the
we
AA
planned
path.
on. At least as a joke.
Yeah,
Just bait
I
him.
mean-
Just be like, yeah, AA, and then do 20%.
Yeah. Yeah, what the heck? Like, my run's gonna be at least 30 minutes. Or no, like, probably like 38 minutes. I don't know what the time is. What,
I
the,
mean, yeah, we
what the world record is.
I mean, the world record is kind of clean.
I would imagine.
Humble brag. No, it's just a very difficult category. It's long, and I mean, it's a run without any major mistakes. That's the. Let's see, what is it? All achievements. Where do we have it? 38 minutes and 37 seconds. So yeah, it's
Wow.
it's
Actually,
close to a
another time.
40-minute run. Yeah, it's a difficult one.
I see your strategy here.
Yeah,
let's do AVIB, Goog.
yeah, it
We
will be a
could.
fun match.
Oh, dude, I would love to. Oh my god.
I'm looking forward to our match whenever we will be able to schedule it. And Matas, you are not out of the tournament yet. You are sent down to the bracket of alternate success. And I'm not sure if you can be scheduled to play a match immediately, or if we're waiting for something else.
See.
But yeah, this is a double elimination tournament, and this is still in the original bracket, winners bracket. I'm not sure what it's usually called. Let's see. Matos has to wait for some previous matches to finish up before he can play more.
I don't even know how to read the bracket at this point.
Whoever wins from 19 will face me, and then we'll face Matos.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I need... Okay, because I do see some where they just don't specify one of the slots, like who will go there, so I guess that's
from the previous round.
Yeah, winner from the previous.
Yeah, if it's in the bracket of alternate success, if it says like a loser of 23, then that is, who
23.
loses. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that's labeled 23. But I was talking about the one that's blank.
Yeah, it's just winner from the previous round.
All right. my logic crafting it did not go that far.
Yeah.
Well, it was very fun. Thank you, Matos, for playing.
Yeah, GG's. I was hoping you would at least like PB or something, or get like a really, really good
That's
time.
not gonna happen.
Bad.
No, it's not gonna happen.
The first round was really good.
Wait, were you talking about you?
No, I was talking about you. I wanted you to PB, because then I could be like, oh, I lost, but I had no chance of winning.
That was not going to happen. That was not going to happen. I was so jittery.
First sub 21 on stream.
Oh god, that would have been wild. But yeah, 22-19, that's better than anyone else in the entire tournament's PB, so you can't say that's not a good run. With that run, you can win any match.
Everyone. I think it was alright.
We have more fun Momo to look forward to in the future. And I think this is it. Well, I am very satisfied with tonight's Momo races. So hope everyone else also is.
Feeling pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, I think it's time to wrap this up. So yeah, thanks you Speed Gaming for this amazing infrastructure surrounding this. It just makes hosting setting up and commentating and all of this, it's just so easy and smooth. It's so nice.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you, Googler and Matos, for this lovely race. And thank you, Dorothy, for commentating with me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
And yeah, I think, if we have a Discord, I think if we Yeah, there we have some info if anyone is interested about the game, the bracket, or the speedrun. Just come and say hello. We love this game and love to share our love for this game with more people as well. Yeah,
Have a good one, everybody.
Yeah, have a good one indeed.